Hey guys, welcome back here. Welcome in the JavaScript Basics series. In this lecture, I'll be talking about the variables. Okay, so without any further waiting, let's open our congators. I will remove actually everything here. We just need the HTML file and we need the script. If you don't have this file, you can learn the previous lecture to find out how to create all of this. Okay, so what are the variables? Why we need them and how can we create one? Okay, so when you want to create a variable, you need to use a special keyword, either a var, const, or a let. For the purpose of this video, I'll be not talking about the vars. Vars are just barely used nowadays. We'll be using const, and let. Okay, so whenever you will use a special keyword, const space, you can name your variable. Okay, so you can create a name for your variable, and we will call the variable. Let's say we'll be storing the names. So I'll create here const space. I'll call the variable name. Now we will provide here equal sign. This means we want to assign something to this left expression, const name. So we would like to assign their value, string value. I will be talking about the data types and values later in the lectures. Basically what you need to know when you want to write a string, so basically text. When you want to work with the text, you need to provide the quotation signs, double quotation signs. And you'll write here, let's write here your name. Okay, I will write here mine. Okay, and now I have here a variable called name, and I can access this variable just by writing its name, which can be confusing right now. So I will call this variable rather full name like this. Okay, so that's my full name. And now we can work with this variable. We can access full name here. You can see I can access it, but that will not do much here. Maybe you want to display the value. We can display the value with the console log function. So we can write here console log, and we can log it out into our browser. So we can write here console log full name. Okay, and maybe you are used to write the semicolons in the end of the lines in the programming languages, in the JavaScript and so on. Later trend is actually to not write the semicolons, to just save maybe some spots, the size of the file. Okay, so console log full name, we can save this. We can go to a browser. As I told you before, you need to drag your HTML file here. So here's the path to your HTML file. You will refresh and you will see your code which was executed in your file. So that's my name, Filip Bierga. Okay, so that's what the value we have stored into the variable full name, and we have access to it. What is very interesting now, since we have created this variable, we can access it also in our browser environment. So when I will go to browser, actually, while our code is here launched still, we can simply access your full name, and you can see I'll press enter. That's my name. So we have created a variable, and this variable still exists in the memory of the computer. And now we can use it. We can use it for sub computations. We can assign it to the other variables. We can work with this. We can do different stuff with the variables. Okay, so basically variables are spots where you can where you can store the values, and you can reuse them later. Okay, but you need to remember when your application will be stopped working, when the execution is stopped and your application is done, these variables will be wiped out from the memory, so they are no longer existing. Okay, so we have here full name, our variable. We can create here more variables. We can store here numbers, right? So we can write here const. Let's say number 1. Let's assign here number 10. Let's write here const under this number 2, and let's write here number 12. Okay, and now I can add them together. So I can write here const sum, and we can sum them together, num1 plus num2, and that's 10 plus 12, right? So this, and the sum will assign the result of this expression here, 10 plus 12, which is 22, will be assigned to the sum, and we can console log it here. So console log, and we'll get here sum. Okay, now I can save this, and we can go back here, refresh, and we can get here 22. As I mentioned before, we can create also variables with a let keyword. Okay, so it's a special keyword called let, and now we can provide here the name of the variable. Let's say I will be storing here age. So let's write here age, and I will write here 30. And that's basically the the similar way how you can create a variables. Okay, so const let. There are of course some differences. We'll be talking about the biggest differences. Okay, and later we'll be talking about these smaller smaller differences. Okay. Well, so we'll go basically more in the detail later. Okay, I don't want to bother you with the details now. So we have an age, and we can also console log out age. So let's write our console log age. Okay. Save it, and you should see the 30 there. Okay. So we have created the variables, we assign the values there, and then we console log them out. Okay, so what's the difference between const and let? Const is a constant, so you can assign the value just once, and then you cannot change it. You cannot reassign it. So when I will try to access my full name, equals sign, and I will try to reassign this value, I will say, let's write here John. All right, and when I will try to do this, I will get error in the browser. Refresh and assignment to constant variable. Okay, so type error, we cannot assign to the constant variable which was already assigned. Okay, with the let will not happen. This will not happen when I will write here age, let's say equal 40. Everything will be good. I will create a variable with the value 30, but immediately I'm changing it to the 40, and console log will get here 40 value, right? So I'll go here, and I will get here 40. So that's the biggest difference between a const and let. Of course, there are also other differences, but as I told you, I will be going later into these details. Okay, so I have here my tablet, and I have here some notes I would like to mention here, so I don't forget what I wanted to say here. So yeah, console log, I showed you the variables. Okay, so we can add variables together, and we can reassign the results of this into the variables. So let's say I will create here new variables. So we can throw it down here. Let's write your const. I will write here, I'll write your first name. First name will be my name, Philip. I'll write your const last name. And by the way, that's a convention how you are writing variables, okay? So when I'm writing first name, the variable consists for multiple words, you will always uppercase the first starting word. That's the basically convention in writing in the JavaScript variables, also functions and so on. So they're more readable. Okay, so first name and last name, provide your last name. Okay, now we can also join these two strings. Okay, so it's the set of the characters together. So I can write here const. By the way, if I already define here full name, I cannot create here another full name. Okay, so when I write here create full name something, this will get me error. Okay, so I'll save this and I will see, refresh. I'll get here error, syntax error, identifier full name has already been declared. So that's okay, that's definitely an issue. Okay, and yeah, so we will call it somehow else. Okay, so I'll call it simply full name too. That's not a very good name, but just for example, I can show you, I can get here first name plus last name. So you cannot just add the numbers together, but you can also do the same with the strings. Okay, so numbers are mathematically computed, right? 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, and so on. But the strings characters are just simply joined together into the one string. Okay, so I'll write your console log, our friend, to see the values, full name, 2. All right, and then I will just simply create here, refresh here, and Philip Jerga here. Of course, in my name, between my first name and the last name should be space. So what we can do, we can actually write here another plus. So first name plus string, but an empty space string. So let's write here empty space plus last name. And now there will be space. So I will save it. Don't forget to save the files and then refresh. And there is my name, Philip space Jerga. And yeah. Okay, so now we can know the variables are places where we can store values. These values are existing while the program is running, and we can reuse them for storing and later reusing for some sub-computations, simply passing the data all around our application how we need it. Okay, I'll check what else I have here. Okay, so we have so far worked with the numbers and the strings, but we have also multiple data types. For data types, I will have a separate lecture, but also I can show you 2 more data types. I will create here const, okay, creating variable, call it, let's say, is merit, merit, all right. And I will write here true. that's the value of a Boolean. Boolean value can be true or false. So simply something is truthful or something is false. Is not true. Okay, so that's the values we can also have. So I can say Philip is married. I can say here true. That's true, and I can also say here false. And then I later in these values I can use in my application. But about this later. But so you know that we can use also true, false. Okay, that's strings. That's the set of the characters, numbers. All right, booleans. Okay, right here comments. So these booleans. By the way, when you want to write a command, you will write these 2 slashes and the command. The command will be not executed by your browser. Okay, so you can freely write here anything. Here we have a strings. And I wanted to keep these lectures quick, but I'm already spending here quite the time. We have numbers. Okay, strings, numbers, booleans, and also what else I want to show you. Okay, that's the types I want to show you actually here only. Okay, coercion, I will not tell you now, but it will be actually talking rather later. Oh yes, I think we'll keep it here, variables. Okay, in the next videos we'll continue with some other basic topics, so that should be, then I see you in some other videos. Cheers.